Welcome to the Broskiedoodles podcast, the best podcast in all of the land. Is your boy Kiko Flow, Kiko Cervantes with an accent. And like every week is my boy Chef Maurice with an accent as well, directly from San Francisco, the land of the versatile and the home alternative. That's what I call them now, home alternative.
I was about to say home wreckers.
Home wreckers. That's something else. I'm connecting from Madrid using the Starlink internet access that's being provided by the ISS, where they're rescuing the NASA astronauts that were stuck there for 9 months.
I want to ask you something, because you were talking about San Francisco and then the Starlink.
Mm-hmm.
We know, this is a question I've been having the past couple of days. We know that San Francisco is a very open Democrat city. How does that people 5 years ago bought Teslas thinking that, this is good for the environment, and then they were looking for that, and then 5 years later the owner of Tesla is basically backing up everything that they're against of, right? Mm-hmm. He's backing up Trump, who, according to a lot of people in San Francisco, he's let's say the devil.
Mm-hmm.
And then how can you, as a Tesla owner, feel, the owner of the vehicle that you think is saving the planet?
You're conflicted, right? Because you, on one side, you thought you were, the eco-green, vegan, blue hair guy, and then on the other side, now the guy that created your magical car is siding with Trump. Well, first thing is, if you think too much about that, then that might be a sign of retardation. And you can check that. There's ways to check your levels of autism. I checked, and they said that they prefer not to provide the results. Because is this also related to what I've seen where people are vandalizing Teslas in California?
I think it has to come from that.
And it's crazy because people vandalizing the Teslas are vandalizing people that actually support what they support because they bought a Tesla for that reason, right?
It's funny when you see a Tesla with a sticker of Kamala 2024.
Right, and then they get vandalized? Come on, what are we talking about? I mean, I think it's stupid. It's stupid that first of all, look, if you like the electric car and you believe in what it does for the environment, then I think that's one thing. You shouldn't mix that with whatever, autistic Elon is doing now. I mean, let's be honest. I prefer for Elon and this other dude that are sort of in power right now to be the ones in power instead of the other side, just because how kooky and crazy the other side is. But make no mistake, these are weird people. Elon Musk is an autistic breeder. I think he has 5 baby mamas, 13 kids. So it's a whole thing. Trump is, doing all kinds of shit. Deporting people, most of them bad, but I've heard some stories about some good people being deported. So they have the immigration czar, who's the border czar, this new guy that Obama used and was very effective under Obama at securing the border, and now they brought him back. But yeah, this is exactly not the topics that we want to hit because it hurts our viewership. Yeah, they don't want to hear about politics. Guys, remember, we will all die at one point, and it will be relatively soon, in the next 30, 40 years, if you're our age. So, enjoy your days, seize the moment.
What were we talking before we started?
I totally forgot. I think the vaccine messed up something in my brain. I have very short-term memory loss. Either that or the cannabis. Can tell.
But
we had an amazing topic. One of them being, you ready? We're just talking about it right now. At the beginning.
Yeah, but I came up with the idea of Elon, and then
you fucked it up. Yeah, that's what happened. All right. Well, we're just gonna sit in silence.
We're talking about food
for a minute.
We're talking about food.
Well, we can't talk about food.
I remember that when I was going to the supermarket, one of my tricks, I don't know if it's ethical, but I grab from the back, which means it's the fresher stuff.
Okay. So this, I think, is a classical that many people do. I do it in Spain too. I don't like people seeing me do it because I feel like I'm doing something that's frowned upon. But it isn't. It shouldn't be. It's available there. Now, what I do is I try to grab, even if it's the same expiration date, I prefer the one in the back that hasn't been touched. And maybe it doesn't matter.
Maybe with the milk, I know in Europe they don't keep the milk in the refrigerators, but in here they do, and then the milk in the back is always colder than the one in the front. Because everybody's opening the door, and so that area is not as cold as the one in the back.
Right.
Which is also the fresher one.
Yeah, it's the freshest one too because they load them up from the back. They stack them up from the back, and that's how I prefer to do it as well in my own personal life. So no, I get it. I do always go and try to see. I mean, I first look at the expiration dates in general, and then if I see something in the back that's a little bit, farther behind in the expiration date, I'll go grab that. I want to hear in the comments because I think this is one of those things that everybody does, but nobody really talks about it. Because it's kind of taboo. So please leave comments if you do this. And also, are there other tricks that you do in the supermarket that you think are nice? For example, there's one trick I do. If you can call it a trick, in my supermarket, whenever like meats that normally have like a week lifetime, they arrive where they're 3 days until their expiration date. And you know what they say, the expiration date, you can give it 1 or 2 more days. I don't, but they say you have a little bit of leeway there. They cut off like 30% on the price. So I grab those sometimes if they're good cuts that I want, and I either cook that the same day or I freeze it right away. And then you're safe on that.
Just remember that if you freeze it, when you take it out, it still has that
3 days.
Right.
Date. But then at that stage, you only take it out when you're gonna eat it, right? You only
right. Usually that's what you do. Take it out the day.
Although if you're under 30, I mean, this still happens to me. It's very classic to unfreeze some meat, leave it under, and then it still goes bad because we're fucking retarded. That's part of it. I mean, one of the things that hurts the most, I have a box of blueberries. I ate like a third of it, and I haven't touched the other in a week. And I don't know, they might be bad. Is a week for blueberries bad?
You should be fine.
I should be fine.
Depends how fresh they were, how ripe they were.
They were pretty fresh. They were like prepared like a day before.
Okay, so you're good.
Taken off the.
You should be good. Just make sure there's no moisture.
No moisture.
Right.
That's the problem. There is moisture because the freezers. Yeah, I think I might have to throw them away, and they're not cheap. So that one hurts a little bit.
Try a couple. If you think they're fine, just make a I don't know, a juice or something, a smoothie.
Now, if it does have, and I don't notice them, some spores of the fungus.
You're gonna be good, Papa.
Do you think a little bit of spores from the fungus won't kill you? I mean, it won't kill you,
right?
It makes you stronger, right? That's what I said. Okay, it's
what
like The Last of Us.
Makes you stronger.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Do you have any tricks on the supermarket? And I'm also taking tricks at home when you're putting your whole fridge together. Like one thing I did the other day, I took everything out of the fridge, I cleaned the fridge, and then I started throwing away things that were just being kept. Sometimes, some rice was left. You put it in a cup, it's been there a week. Sorry, that's gone. So I did a little cleanup. And then I order everything in a nice little way. It makes me feel better about myself. Is that something?
Did you do this yourself?
Yeah, I did it all by myself. Right now, I'm kind of the, what's it called? The stay-at-home mom.
Well, now that's going to be hard because in your house right now it's not only you and your partner, but it's also your family. So they're not used to the way that you put your stuff back in the fridge. So that might just last 1 day or two.
It will, but at least I cleaned and I took off the extras because one thing that, one thing you are right. Yep.
I was going to say that you're right. Things that need to be thrown out, it needs to be thrown out.
And I'm very picky about that. And as I've gotten older, I'm getting better at it. And I don't think I'm like extra with it. I think I'm like at a level that should be the default level for everybody. Like everyone should have a sense of hygiene when it comes to food and themselves. So yeah, I cleaned up, and one thing I like to do is I like to organize the fridge in a way where like at the very top, I put the charcuterie that's already open that we should be eating, and then below that I put the charcuterie that's new that we shouldn't be touching yet until we eat the ones at the top, and put it in a way so that it's systematically telling you what you need to do, right? While in that process, I ordered it all well, and then my dad went to the fridge and he wanted to eat jamon serrano, right? Serrano ham, and then he opened one that was new and didn't use the one that was already open.
That's a no-no.
That's a no-no. I almost kicked him out of my house.
Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here, bro. You think what? You think there's a jamon serrano tree back there?
It's €1, but still.
Oh, it's $3.50 for a nice little, bag of, well, not a bag, yeah, like a little.
It's one of those packs that you open and it's layered between papers.
Yeah, it's pretty good. No, it's not layered between. This one is not. But man, I get one that's like the most expensive one. But I get a little package, so it's $3.50.
How much can you spend on that? Like if you want some good.
I mean, the good is one that you fucking have somebody cut in the moment.
Right, but you go to the. I'm talking about when you go to the supermarket and you ask for some jamon. Is there a guy also slicing it by hand?
In this one, there's a guy doing it.
Okay. And then you can ask for like 1 kilo and then he'll give it to you?
Yeah.
How much do you think that is?
Fuck. I think the kilo... Fuck. The kilo
Do you think it's more or less than 20 euros?
No, it's like 30, 40.
For a kilo, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's a lot though. I might be fucking wrong here, but yeah, like the one I buy costs $3.50, and it brings like 100 grams.
Okay, so 100. Okay, yeah, a kilo seems like a lot.
Yeah, like so a kilo would be like 35, 40. I mean, the kilo could be even 50 euros.
Of the good.
Yeah, of the good.
Okay.
But I'll be honest with you, I don't need to get the good. I mean, like I get the best one they have that's packaged.
But do they package there?
Yeah, they do have package there, but this one is not the one I'm getting. I'm getting the ones that are coming from like a fucking corporation.
Okay.
In the morning in a truck, packages of ham, cheeses, and then there's like 5 different hams, serrano hams, that is. And I grabbed the one that's the most expensive one. And even then, the little package costs 3-4 euros. And it's the good. It's that serrano ham that melts in your mouth. You don't have to fucking pull little stringy shit out of it. Like, it just fucking melts. You can taste the suffering in that pig, if that says anything. So,
supermarket, that bad if it suffers?
Supermarket tricks. No, I actually, for some reason, my stomach tolerates better when the food comes from like a very high stressful place. So like let's say, free range chicken eggs. Like, these eggs were put by a chicken that has, free range and a house and a mortgage and shit. I'm like, okay, that's not the chicken I want. The eggs that I want gotta come from a chicken that's in an overcrowded space where everybody's just shitting on top of each other, miserable life, just industrial complex. That's for some reason the egg that tastes better. Because you feel the je ne sais quoi, the misery, the frustration, the stress, whatever.
Do you have any other tricks in the supermarket?
I have tons. One that I like to do is I like to look at the bread lady. Not in like an inappropriate way, but I'll go to the bread section and I see that she's packaging up the bread that's been baked that day. And I don't mean the square bread, right? Like, what's that called? The white bread? Yeah, white bread.
White bread.
Yeah, white bread. That one, I get that one. That's just, you just leave at your house and you let it rot, right? But then the one that's made on a daily basis there, baked there, that lasts a day or two. I look at that girl and I'm like a little mysterious, right? Like there's security guards there. Sometimes they've thought I'm into some weird shit. And I'm like, no, I'm just waiting for her to put the newest bread in the available baskets for the customers so I can get the freshest one. Because I don't want to do another trick that other people do. Because, in Spain, I don't know if you've been, I mean, I'm pretty sure this exists over there too. You have a rack with different types of breads in their little, paper bags. And then people are going to go touch the bread to see which one is soft. And although that's a great way to test it, and I've been caught doing that while I'm alone and I'm not proud of it, I don't like people seeing me touching the bread, just, handling the bread in my hands. So what I do is I look at the lady in the back, and if I see that she's about to put some new bread in the baskets, then I come in and I assault that place.
Maybe you should know what times the bread is baked.
I should become friends with one of the bread ladies, maybe give her some fake hope. Tell her I'm single. No, I don't have a kid that apparently just appeared from Venezuela. No, I don't. People are asking from last episode, yo, what happened to your kid in Venezuela? I don't know, man. I'm still waiting for that fucker to come. If he turns 20 and he hasn't found me, that's it, bro. You're an adult. Do your thing. That's what I say.
But maybe he doesn't want money. He just wants a paternal figure.
If you're 20, you are already raised by the streets. I'm sorry. So, yeah, tricks. There's also tricks at home that I've shown you. Do you have any little tricks at the supermarket that you can teach the youngins? People that are starting to live on their own. Maybe they have a roommate. They're trying to get good habits going on in the house. What are some things that you could, help out in the supermarket and at home that are going to make their food making, food consumption experience better, more adequate for them?
I think the main one is that one, looking for the freshest product. I know. Like for vegetables, I try to grab. I do have to feel my vegetables.
But that's fine, right? With a little glove.
Oh, you do it with a glove?
Nah, you're fucking nasty. This is the thing. This is why you shouldn't bring Latin Americans to the U.S.
Wait, which vegetables are you touching with a glove?
Not a glove, like the little paper glove, the little plastic
the
glove.
Little plastic ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you using that one at least? No,
those are not available.
They're not?
They're not available in the supermarket.
Okay, so you go and you touch it.
I go raw.
You go raw dogging. Okay, no, that's fine. I mean, it's frowned upon, but it ain't illegal.
Wait, and you use one glove per different vegetable?
Well, I have two gloves, right? One glove I'm touching the vegetables. The other glove I'm touching my panini.
Okay.
And I'm feeling like if I feel that it's getting too hot, then I know I need to. This is not the right vegetable. You know what I mean? No, but you want to check the plumpness. Is that what it's called? Like how if it's too soft, like soft fruits, they're be starting to rot. Stronger food, depending on which one it is. Of course, a banana is soft, most of the time. Not my banana, but the ones in the supermarket. So, like an apple, you don't want an apple to be too soft, right? A pear could be a little softer.
Wait, I'm still thinking about the gloves. Do they provide those in the supermarket?
Yeah, like the plastic gloves that come like in a little roll. I mean, I don't know. Where the fuck you live, dog? Like, I thought San Francisco was the pinnacle of civilization. You guys don't even have plastic gloves.
Right, they don't even want to keep using plastic.
Do they give you plastic bags?
No, you have to buy them.
Okay, to put the fruits in.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yes.
All right, one thing I'm going to ask you, and I think that you should be good at this, and I think a lot of the kids that are listening, they are actually very interested in this, because it's one of the hardest things to do when you live alone, and I still go through this, right? How do you check your vegetables to make sure that you're picking the right ones? Because I think a lot of kids get confused. You go see the vegetables, you're like, man, which one is which one? They all look the same. For example, if I'm looking for tomatoes for a salad, what should I look for and what should I not look for in a tomato?
If you want to use it that same day, I would go for a little softer one. That means it's a little bit riper. Also color. You don't want to go for a green tomato. You want to go like red, the brightest as it could be. Well, it depends, because like yellow tomatoes, there's some that are very pale looking, and then one that's like more yellowish. I try to go for those. Definitely softer if you want to use them that same day.
If not, if you're gonna use it for the whole week, maybe a little
If it,
harder because
a little harder,
it's not as ripe yet.
right? Well, sometimes when you go to the supermarket here, you see that stuff comes from Mexico, for example, but they pick it so green that by the time they get here, they're starting to get a little red. So maybe that tomato has like a 4 day.
You think it could be they're
road.
getting red because they're blushing because now they're in the United States? They're like, oh my God, we made it. Could be. I mean, scientifically, we haven't really thought of that. So, what about onions? What about what's this
I don't
called?
know. For onions, I just go for whichever I want more.
It's
Like I
easy,
don't
right?
look for
Potatoes, same.
Well, you can see if the onion's soft. No, definitely not.
You want a hard onion.
A hard onion.
Yeah. So for onions, guys, if you're writing down, onions hard, regardless.
Onions hard.
If it's for today or for tomorrow.
If it's mushy, don't.
It's even harder to cut if it's mushy. So you want it hard. Not for real though. Am I correct in that?
Yeah. I don't know. Potatoes again, not soft.
Not soft.
I think you want to go like. I think for vegetables you want to go for like a harder feel, but for fruit you want to go softer. Maybe.
Oh really?
Maybe, yeah.
So like an apple? What about an apple? If it's soft,
no, you want an apple to be hard. You're right there. I'm just trying to think, but like for
like
peaches,
a pear, peaches.
If they're a little
orange,
bit softer, it means that they might be a little bit riper and a little
juicier,
bit sweeter,
right?
Juicier.
For example, a little orange with gin.
With gin.
Yeah, in the Saturday you're making breakfast for your kids, and you see the orange juice, and you're like, hey, what if I put some ice and gin? Is that a tip or more like a?
That's
like
a tip. That's a tip for parents who are going through it.
Right. Like, is it okay if you're going through it with your kids, right? But you're at home. You're not driving or anything.
No, you're just at home. I mean, you can't get too drunk.
Right.
One to get you happy would be a okay one.
Right. And then a second one so you don't hit any of the kids.
Unless, anyways.
Unless daddy drinks the third one. and then they all hide in the basement because they know daddy likes his axe. What? Is that the Amityville Horror? Yeah, that's what it is. No, but no, I think that's cool because sometimes people think of tips just, like how do we prepare the food, how we choose it. Sometimes it's about how do you handle yourself in that situation. You go into the supermarket, you're going to have a couple of kids running around that's going to get you stressed. Maybe you have a little gin and tonic before you leave home.
Avocados are a hard one to kind of feel because even though they're soft, in the center they might be, still hard. And it's maybe one more day. One of the tricks for the avocado is like they have a little thing on the top where they hang. Mm-hmm. If you take that out, it shows you a little bit of the color of the avocado. So if you see it's green or if you see it's yellow, and depending on the green, you can judge.
I'll be like kind of fucking up that avocado, right?
Yeah, because then that's the first part that's going to get dark.
Right.
Because the oxygen touch and then the avocado is turning.
And then you're going to get the deoxidization. That's a word. I'm pretty sure.
Are avocados more expensive in Spain?
They're not more expensive than in the U.S. I don't think so, but they're still expensive.
Here, avocados are expensive. At least in California or where I live, avocados. I
mean, here avocado. I think avocados are expensive everywhere, but here they're not as expensive as in the U.S. And it is true that my girlfriend, for example, she's an avocado getter,
aficionado.
Yeah, and she's always like, oh, let me choose this, and then what I find out and realize with the avocados is that you don't choose when to eat the avocado chooses when you eat it, right? Because you get the avocado. For example, we get this little pack that brings 6 avocados. By the way, small avocados. Here we only get small avocados, not big ones. Although I might argue that the smaller ones are juicier and some of the bigger ones might be drier, but that's not always the case. There are big avocados that are juicy and creamy. And that's true too. But the avocados we get, the way that it would work is you get the avocados. Maybe next day we're like, oh, let's have some avocados. We use one. I like to cut them up in like long little slices, and then I put olive oil, salt, and pepper, and I eat them like that, like a Mediterranean king. Say less. And then if that day we're like, this avocado is a little bit too hard, we're like, all right, perfect. So in 2 days, we need to eat more avocado.
When one avocado goes, the whole group goes.
Right, so that's why in 2 days we need to eat all of them. Too much? Next day?
We found a supermarket, an Asian supermarket close to where we live, that they sell...
You just have to say supermarket. We assume it's Asian.
No, okay, I can see where you're going, but at the same time, we have the big corporation supermarkets.
No, that's true. That's true.
So this supermarket just kind of like, it's specifically, anyways, 10 avocados for $10.
Damn.
And we got all 10, but they were hard as fuck. And then the day one became available,
they all wanted to be eaten.
You basically had 2 days, 3 days max, where you needed to eat 9 more avocados.
Okay, so that's the problem with the avocados. It's all or nothing.
It's either 10 or none.
Right, you might have to call your buddies on a Wednesday. Like, hey, guys, I just made a pico de gallo with avocado, and I need you to come.
Let's have a boys' night with avocado.
Would you say pico de gallo can have... it can... Because pico de gallo is tomato, onions, and cilantro. Right?
Onion, cilantro, tomato, and onions. Yeah.
Right. Now, if you... And of
juice.
course, lime juice, a little bit of maybe vinegar, salt, pepper. Okay. What if I add... Because I've done this before. Little squares, like little pieces of avocado. And I make it to the next level. Is it still a pico de gallo? Or is it something else but still good?
I think it's guacamole.
Oh, that's guacamole.
Right, because in the guacamole, you're smashing the avocados, but if you leave it cubes, it's basically the same premise.
So it's kind of like a avant-garde guacamole.
Sure, you can call it
like a guacamole poke.
Well, I mean, seeing how fresh the fish is where you live, maybe you can do pokes with avocados.
No. My only thing with the pokes, I don't like the rice. I have a little problem with rice that I don't think it mixes in certain situations.
Sushi rice. So there's a difference. They probably use sushi rice, so it's stickier. Yeah. But you can use, I mean, if you do it at home, you can use any rice.
Well,
what would you spend?
Can I use no rice?
You could. I mean,
can I make it? Can I make it a keto bowl? Keto poke?
Okay, bro.
Okay, bro. Yeah, so I can have my mind working 100% while I'm betting on these fucking cryptos.
Maybe that's what you need to do. Just raw dog the fish.
I want to raw dog the fish.
Well, it could be just a fish and then, I don't know, avocados and soy sauce. What else do you put?
I want a Japanese guy to like get a bunch of fish, cut it up in front of me, and serve me, and like just do the things that they do with the slicing and the, and then they put the little, what's it called, the uramaki, the thing with the fish on top of the rice. That I can do. I can do the rice with the sushi, but I just don't like a bowl of rice and then a bunch of cold shit on top of it. It just doesn't work for me. But that's my problem.
Well, but the sushi rice is not hot or warm.
Yeah, but that's like I said, that's my exception. For some reason, I'm like, okay, I accept you.
But you're basically eating a bowl of that, but it's just in a bowl fashion.
I mean, what I've always said is that poke is all the ingredients of a sushi, but your sushi maker didn't come. So they're like... And they're like, hey, here are all the ingredients. So eat them. Right. Their TSP ran out and fucking ice came through.
It's just Juan serving the sushi or the poke bowl.
And Juan doesn't know how to do the rolling of the sushi.
He says it's fish. We add, a little teaspoon of soy sauce, and we good.
It's called poke, but in reality, it's unorganized
Arroz
sushi.
Con pescado.
Yeah, arroz con pescado de toda la vida. It's been done for ages, right? Rice and fish.
This
and
is what our grandparents ate.
Yeah. Oh, diced mangoes, and now it's called poke. Go fuck yourselves. Do you think, at the end of the day, I always find like we end up always talking about like food, and I don't know if it's cool. But I mean, it's something that we like, and you cook it, and we love culinary arts. Do you think at the end of the day when people say like, oh, we're going to go eat some Romanian food, oh, we're going to go eat some Georgian food, oh, we're going to go eat Vietnamese food, at the end of the day, is some sort of meat with rice? No, I'm not trying to be a dick about it and minimalize everything. But like, haven't you been like, people say like, oh, we're going to go to like this fucking crazy Turkish thing. And then when you get there, it's like, oh yeah, it's chicken and rice. And then some bread with cheese. It's like, oh, this thing is typical. Yeah.
Interesting, because
let's have Indian food. Oh, what is it? Oh, it's chicken and rice. Oh, okay.
It's interesting how you thought about it, and it makes sense. It's just how the way it's prepared, I guess. Yeah. The spices. I mean,
obviously, I'm being.
But the base is the same.
I'm being a dickhead about it, because at the end of the day, what matters are the spices, the way that you make it, all that. But it is true.
Basic everywhere. Because if you go eat, let's say, let's go eat Armenian food, it might be the same, stewed beef for hours, the same way they do it in, let's say, Mexico. The only difference is that they put cumin, and in Armenia they put something else.
Right.
But also when you hear countries that are not your day-to-day countries, people get more excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, for example, there's one, like sometimes they do fusions. Or like this is a Japanese Peruvian restaurant.
Right.
And you're like, fuck, are you going to have the best of both worlds? Or are you going to throw me some of the whack shit, Like, for example, if you go to a fusion restaurant and the restaurant is, half Armenian, half Turkish, you're going to have problems. I don't know if you know, but the Armenians and the Turkish aren't really in the best footing.
It's that century-old dislike for each other.
It's more like a genocide of more than 1 million people done by the Turks to the Armenians. That's neither here or there. I'm just saying that would be a kind of weird mix, right? Like Spanish and Chinese restaurant. What? What are you serving? Oh, it's croquetas of, rice.
Is that normal there?
No, it isn't.
Fusion?
No, I haven't seen that fusion.
Maybe fried rice with cubes of serrano ham.
Yeah, that could be it. Oh, okay.
Instead of the regular ham, just
right. Or like ham. The pork is like Ibérico, Secreto Ibérico.
Right, Secreto Ibérico.
Yeah. No, I think that's a way to do it.
The ribs, the spare ribs, how they do it in the Chinese restaurant, and then just a different cut from the pig.
Right. Like for example,
Spanish style pig breastfed.
Like for example, you do, here they do the cochinillo, right?
Right.
But which is like a little piglet that they do.
If you think about it, sorry, maybe you're going that way. Sorry to cut you off. I got very excited about what you were going to say. Maybe that's the comparison to the Peking duck. Have you had the duck where they put it into the bao buns, or they're rolling in some sort of tortilla and they put hoisin sauce? Anyways, they bring you the duck and they prepare it in this way where the skin is very crackling and the duck is very juicy, the meat. So it's a lot like the cochinillo that you were going to say.
Oh, I haven't had the duck, but I've seen it. Like I've seen it being advertised. No, what I was going to say is that maybe you get the cochinillo, which is like a baby piglet that they do in Spain, in the region of Segovia, for example. It's a very important one, but they do it in many places. But then the sauce, because it's a Spanish and Chinese restaurant, The sauce comes from Wuhan, from the lab. And now you have a fusion going on. Apparently, Germany or some administration came out saying that indeed it came from Wuhan. Don't say what, but they were right. It's a Chinese virus. It was. Anyways.
Eating all the cats and dogs.
Eating the cats and dogs. Mm-hmm. What do you think about, like, for example, in Peru and in Ecuador, I think, they eat the cuy, which is like a big rodent, a rat.
They talked about it at work the other day because there's some Peruvians who work with us, and they were asking me if I had ever tried cuy, and I said no. And I told them that in Venezuela we have something similar. It's not the same, but the chihuire.
The chihuire, which is also capybara in Brazil. Capybara. And what it is actually the biggest rodent that exists, the capybara.
So it is family of the cuy, right? Mm-hmm. So I haven't eaten chihuire, but I'm guessing it's as close to that as possible. No. But yeah, they were saying that it's delicious and that I should try it.
Can you eat that in San Francisco legally?
Probably not. I don't know if you can find those here.
Right. Okay. They didn't tell you. Oh yeah, we have a place here that we eat.
We have a place we could get at home and shit. No, probably when I go visit them in Peru. That's at least what they said. Oh, when you come visit us back home, we'll take you to eat cuy.
Because they will go there when their TPS expires.
Whenever they have to go back home.
Right. With all the whole thing going on now with Orange Man. Okay.
Cheeto Man.
No, I mean, there's a bunch of things that I haven't tried that I need to. The duck.
I think the duck is a good dish. You should definitely, next time you go to a Chinese restaurant.
Do they bring the whole duck with the face and everything?
No. I mean, depending on the place. There's some, I don't know if you've ever seen them, that they hang them in the window. They hang them from the neck, and then you can see the whole face. But when they serve them, no, they usually just bring from the neck
breast
down.
Okay.
Right. So it's a whole thing, and then they cut it in front of you. That's part of the show as well. But
okay, and they take out the things inside.
I guess pre-cooking before they start cooking them.
What is that called when you take out the organs and shit, the insides, right? The things that aren't really eaten.
Dismembering. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah, the
English is my second language.
Duck seems like I think Spanish is your second language as well, but that's fine. I think duck is a good way to get started into the foreign animal consumption, circles. Like, you don't want to go straight to a cuy, right, which is a small rodent. But you want to start with a duck.
Duck is now so widely used that I mean, I'm okay with duck. I like duck.
Oh, you've had it. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with duck. Okay. I've had the Peking duck that I'm telling you about, but then I had it in other ways.
Now, can I have a duck but not a Peking duck just because I don't want to be supporting China at this moment specifically with, how tense things are in the world? Are there ducks, like, are there American-raised ducks certified by the FDA that aren't Peking ducks that have no secrets of, powers of mass destruction?
I think they're only called like that because the dish originated there.
Ah, shit.
But okay. I feel like the ducks in Spain, if they're raised, they should taste delicious.
Your word?
In France, I think that area, maybe Italy as well.
Well, in France, they torture the ducks, right? Because they couldn't win the war.
But
so they take it out of the you fucking duck, come here, man. I'm gonna fuck the duck. They're weird. I love the French. Not. So what's good with the duck?
Anyways, duck, delicious. I think once you get into duck,
what are the weirdest meats that you've eaten? Have you eaten alligator?
I have, but when we lived in Florida, and you go to to the
Everglades.
swamps, to Everglades. There's this place that you can go to, and they have the airboat.
Mm-hmm.
They give you some alligator meat, which is weird that they give it to you in their home.
What was it
But
like?
yeah.
Fried squares?
Yeah, it was tough. I didn't like it at all.
Oh, you didn't like it. Okay. Have you had
I've had
the
horse.
horse? I mean, we
I've had
all
it
went.
actually in Spain.
Is that in a whorehouse? What? Oh, okay. Oh, in Spain. Okay. And how was it? Was it like a
It's a
steak?
no, it's a tough meat. It was sliced very thinly and in a sandwich. Bocata de caballo.
Bucata de caballo, horse sandwich.
Um, it was a long one. It was tough, but it was sliced so thinly that it could almost come apart.
And did it taste all right?
It tasted like meat. It didn't have a distinctive flavor.
Do you think it's really that much to go from a horse, from a duck to like a human? It can't be that different.
Have you ever had like venison, or have you ever had any strange meats? It's strange.
No, I haven't. Venison is like deer, right?
It's deer, yeah.
No, I haven't. But I do want to because I kind of feel like men, they hunt their food. And I don't want to hunt it, but I want to pay a man to hunt food for me and prepare it. Yeah, like I haven't had venison deer, but I hear that deer is pretty good. Have you had deer?
I've had venison before. I've had bison. Like the buffalo.
Oh, shit. Word?
But it was a jerky.
Okay.
So when you go, I remember we went to Wyoming, and we drove by a farm of bisons, and they
Okay.
were selling jerky or bison jerky. And I had it.
How-
It's a jerky, and it had condiments. So not condiments. Condiments, I think it's when you put
right.
tomato
Pepper,
and
paprika.
right. Anyways, it was just a jerky bison.
And what about? I haven't had anything weird yet, but when it comes to the different meat like that, as long as it's safe, I'm willing to try. I get a little bit more weary when it comes with weird seafoods or just weird like insect type animals, and that's where I kind of say, if it's a meat,
Yeah,
I'm willing
insects
to
are
try.
insects are not my go-to. I've had the crickets in Mexico. They sell them, and I've had them here at one of the restaurants I worked at. This girl was actually farming them, and she fed them certain herbs. So when you eat or chew on it, it would taste like that herb.
And you would eat them alive,
No, they were all dead.
fried.
So yeah, so she would freeze them. They would pass away, and then we would fry them. And then
Oh, so
once
she
you bit
would
into it,
she would unalive them Walt Disney style.
exactly.
I like that.
So yeah, I've had the crickets, but I'm not fond of them. It's weird. At
Did
least for
you
me.
tell? Am I correct in thinking that one time you went to Canada and you had whale?
No, I think
I'm
that's a
wrong.
wrong friend.
Yeah, that's a wrong friend. No, I don't. It was probably no. You did went to Canada once, but you had something else.
Yeah,
Because you never had whale.
not well. No,
Have you been with a whale? Sorry, wrong question. I think in the Nordic countries they eat whales.
I think what I've seen is that the tribes that live to the northern Canada or closer to the Arctic, they eat like seal and whale fat. Maybe that's where we could have come from.
And I think also I've heard in those places they eat reindeer.
But I feel like that's a
That's venison, right?
venison, yeah. So if the deer, if you were eating that.
Okay.
What
When
about
it
fish? Have you tried a lot or not?
The thing is, I'm I'm very bad with seafood. Like if I have to open up carcasses and like suck on like the juices and stuff, then that's not for me. I know that people love it. Like if they go to like a crock pot in Louisiana, they will love to just be cracking open things. I'm not the type to be like eating mollusks and like, what are these called? Oysters. Like it's not, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but it's just not my thing. So to me, it's hard to go weird with seafood because anything that just has claws and shit and I have to open the carcass is not for me. Although I do like fish, I like shrimp, I like lots of cuts of fish, but more like the conservative stuff. Yeah, basic bitch shit. Like I don't know. If you tell me, for example, oh look, we killed a dolphin. Which one? Oh, the guy that was in that show, Flipper. Was that the show called Flipper? Yeah. And it's it's old, but it tastes good. It's been aged. You want to have some dolphin? Like I could eat some dolphin. I think people eat dolphin. I think people ate everything. When shit was bad, 300 years ago and before, you ate everything. Turtles were being eaten. Sharks were fucking being eaten. Everything was being eaten. Whales for many, like hundreds of years, were like the main food for, like people in New England and in Europe, in the Nordic countries, like Norway. Like they would have big killing seasons where they would kill hundreds of whales, and then they would keep that meat, and they will use the oil of the whales to like light up their lanterns and shit. So yeah.
But you've had shark before.
No, well, I mean, I probably had because in Venezuela we eat baby shark, and it's called cazón or cazón. So I mean, I think I've had it, but I was very young. I don't even remember it. But baby shark is not like shark. Like I'm talking about great white shark.
I don't know. With fish, I'm also a basic bitch. Like I'll try a lot of stuff, but I'm more of a basic bitch.
Yeah, I'm not the best one for the food. Fish. Don't get me wrong. Like a little Japanese adventure where they're cutting all these raw fish and putting them in fillet, and I'm eating them with some soy sauce.
I'll do it.
Right, but I consider that to still be in the basic bitch section, right? Even though it's raw fish. Or would you say we're a little bit above basic bitch?
I think it's starting to go a little bit above.
Above, yeah.
It's true. If you're eating like raw fish.
Yeah, you're a little bit more than a basic bitch. You might be still a bitch, but not a basic.
Like eating rolls, like sushi rolls, that's basic bitch.
That's basic bitch.
But eating the raw fish as it's coming out of the water, that's like a next level situation. Next level.
And then grabbing a crab yourself, unaliving it, and then preparing it and breaking all the legs and eating it. Now you're into higher levels. Now you're more like a seafood connoisseur.
But that's a normal thing. Like I remember in Miami there used to be a restaurant where you would go and they'd give you a bib and a hammer, and then you were breaking that shit in the restaurant and eating the claws and the meat. I don't know. It depends on the seafood, I guess.
Are you on oysters? Jesus. That's how connected we are in this podcast, guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, please help us out. We are really climbing up the ladder, but very slowly, and we really need your help. If you listen to this shit and you haven't subscribed, that's fucking sad. If you listen to this and you haven't left a comment or a critique, that's really sad too. If you like it, tell us something good. If there's things you don't like, please tell us what you don't like, and then we can engage. Love you. All right, tell me about oysters, you little fucking
oysters. Oysters, I'm down. I'm down to eat some oysters.
Okay.
As fresh as possible. Some lime juice, I think that's my shit.
You suck them up.
Slurp them.
And what's it that you... Because, I mean, I understand the hard part of it is the consistency, right? It's like a booger.
I don't know. It is. It's slimy, but I try not to bite too much into it. Like maybe one bite just so I can feel that, I don't know, the crunch.
So you don't even chew it. No, you suck it.
Sometimes I just go all in.
And can you really taste it if you're not even biting it?
You taste the sea. I think that's what you're kind of going for. I don't think you're going for a certain taste in the oyster. I think it just tastes like sea.
Okay, you taste like the sea takes you back to the under the sea. Dun 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 dun. I get it.
Oysters, I'm good. Now mussels, those are same family, mollusk. But I don't know if I'm.
Give me
I'll
the
eat 'em,
difference.
but
Give me the difference on a mussel.
mussel is the one with the black shell. They're a little bit longer, and then the meat is when you cook it, it's orange.
Oh, I see.
And then mussels you can cook and kind of do, you can eat them raw, but most
can
of the
also
times
cook 'em.
it's cook them, and they're
Oh, I
a little
see.
bit orange.
That's you're not
Clams. I'm not a big fan of mussels. Clams, same situation. I'll eat those, but not raw. Most of the times it's cooked. Like you can do a mussel pasta. It's delicious. Mussels and clams and I don't know. Now, in the other hand, oysters, I don't like them cooked. Like there's at the restaurant I work at, we do a grilled oyster. So it's like warm. It's a warm booger if you if you want to imagine it a certain way.
So for you,
But
you kind of
they
want that
put
booger
stuff
to be
on top.
cold. Okay.
Yes, I like it to be cold.
Does it get more meaty, more white, more harder, or is it still slimy?
I've only tried it once. It's most of the times I think it stays the same. The thing is that when you do it like that, you want to cover it, or people cover it. They put like breadcrumbs on top, so the oyster won't cook. It'll just get warm, and then you get either the butter or whatever it was, the breadcrumb, and so you get that taste plus the sea. But I'm not a big fan of warm oysters.
I feel you. You want that cold hit in the throat.
As a kid, do you remember when we went to the beach? Remember when you and I went to Morrocoy and
Venezuela.
we were
yeah.
eating what was it, caracoles?
We were. We bought some.
We bought some. This dude came with a
Right.
bucket, and we were like, "Oh, let's do it!" And we started eating ceviche and vuelo la vida.
Oh shit! I don't
You don't
remember
remember that part?
No, I remember the girls that we met that day, but I don't.
You see, I don't remember that part.
Priority. I remember the other. I remember the other oysters that were there.
You do remember that we went to the beach?
Yeah. And then we went back home and we had a barbecue. And then right
Right.
before the barbecue, you clogged the bathroom of the supermarket that we went to.
That is
The
true.
reason
That
why we
is
made the
true.
barbecue is because there were these two girls that we met at the place.
Okay, yes. Now I remember. I don't remember their faces, but I remember we did the barbecue for some girls. But anyways, yeah, we went to the beach and then we were eating kongs. I think
Kongs.
that's how it's going.
In the Bahamians, they do a lot with the kongs. Conch is like an oyster, but that's bigger, or more like a mollusk that's bigger, and then has a lot more
They have
meat.
a big shell.
Yep. It has a lot more meat inside, so they're able to do like little pokes with pieces of conch. They do everything with conch in the Bahamian. In the Bahamian, conch apparently is bigger and sweeter. Well, they say that all the fish in the Caribbean is just sweeter and because it's more salty. Apparently, the Caribbean Sea is more salty. And so any shrimp, any crab, any lobster, any conch that you get in the Caribbean, from what I understand, is the most delicious in the world. I mean, of course,
In the
people
world.
that live in north of Spain, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you haven't had the mollusk here." Like, nah, come on, bro.
Let's not fight about this.
It's the Caribbean, brother. Respect. Put some respect on the name. Are the Caribbeans people that work hard and, wake up early and are very industrious? No. But they have delicious seafood because there's more concentration of salt. And that's just fact. I didn't even make that up. That's fact you can check right now. Go to salt.com.
The time that we went to the beach, was that the time that we went to the soccer game?
No,
Because I
believe
remember I
those-
spent some time in your city before I came back to the States.
No, I think that the time that we went to the game, you were staying in Caracas. That was a second time.
That was before the game. Because I remember you picked me up
Yeah, I picked you up with a friend. He left us in the airport.
We went to the game, and then on the way back, I remember your dad picking us up.
Oh,
with,
actually, you are right.
Nice,
We went to Valencia after that. Yeah, you're right. That might have
a
been the
nice
same.
bottle of.
Yeah, a nice bottle of 4 liters of rum, which is the minimum amount that we like to to buy in Venezuela. 4 liters of rum. That's a problem.
What year was that? 2012.
I don't even want to think, bro. Time is going too quick. It's going on too quick. It's going on too quick.
But yeah, I remember we had some nice seafood, and then I remember much more after that. We were drinking too much.
Yeah, you were drinking, you were smoking. I mean, say the truth. It's been too long. Your parents aren't gonna care. You're already a big boy. Are you happy that you are going to Miami soon and leaving San Francisco? Is it sweet and sour? Mixed feelings?
Well, not a lot of people know it yet, so it's a little bit. It was a little bit of a surprise. But
so is this kind of fucked, or is it fine because nobody listens to the podcast?
well, it would be very fucked up if my job finds out now before I tell them.
Nah, they won't find out.
And since we're loading stuff on TikTok while on my break from my real job, so I don't know.
Okay. Nah, well, I mean, like I said earlier in the day, we gotta take risks sometimes, and this is one of those risks. Oh, Kiko, but maybe you should take the risk too. Oh.
Also, I need the money from here until I'm not longer here.
Well, but if hypothetically you were to move, which you're not, and you were hypothetically to leave your job, which you aren't,
I'm not.
Would you be happy about it? Nervous? What's the situation?
I'll be nervous, and as of right now, maybe not as happy because it's not something I really dying to do. Like I don't want to go back to Miami.
Like
yet.
Miami is not your ideal place to live.
My
right?
cup of tea, right?
And not to say anything bad about Miami, we love Miami.
We're from there, so we can say it.
You can hate if you were there. You're from there.
At the same time, our family's going to be there, so it's going to be nice to see them and be back with the fam.
I've been talking to a cousin that lives in Miami, and he's looking to buy a place. And we're talking about how there's better options outside of Miami, better pricing and stuff. But then he's also tied up to family in Miami, his family and also his wife's family. So it's this whole thing where, like, unfortunately, I mean, it's because of a good reason. You want to be near your family, but unfortunately, because of the crisis and the inflation, you kind of have to choose to live somewhere else that's cheaper. But then you also have to prioritize, okay, am I going to be with my family or not? And that also matters because as cynical as you and me might be at times, and, we like to be on our own and away from everything, as you get older, you start realizing how important it is to be with family and have those family connections. And I know I'm sounding, mad corny now, but it's for real. And now you have kids, and you kind of think, okay, my kid, I want him to grow with like nephews. Like I went to the U.S. some months ago, and I saw my nephews, and they were all so grown up, and I kind of felt bad. I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna see them grow, like every day, become,
part of their life.
Yeah, and then you realize, again, very cliche, very corny, that those are the moments that make your life special and meaningful, and you kind of want to go towards that a little bit more. But it sucks because it is true that it isn't as clear, how do we achieve this in this time of the world where things are so expensive. Buying a house is so hard, and you kind of have and you kind of have no, that's fine. This is what happens when, like I said, maybe you're losing your house, you got to move, crisis comes through. And a lot of kids these days that are like 25, they don't even see a possibility of getting a house. Like, things are just that fucked unless you move to a little town where nobody lives. And it's something that I'm considering myself, right? I live in Spain. I would love to stay in Madrid, but I want to buy something, and Madrid is super expensive, right? Or at least for me, right? It's outside of my price range. But it is the case for many people I know. And people that have good jobs too. It's not like just broke people. Like, people that have good jobs, it's very hard for them to get a house these days. And it seems like the only option is to go outside, like outside of the main cities, go to smaller cities and smaller towns. and make a new life there. And I mean, it's not the first time this happens in history. There's been many situations in the past where, yeah, people have had to really, to really like consider, okay, let's move. Like when people moved to the West in California in the, 18 and 1900s, they were looking for a better life. I mean, it was a different context, but migrations within a same country it's not a new thing. People have done this for hundreds of years. But in the past, it used to be more, you move from the towns to the cities because that's where you have more job opportunities. That's where you have more opportunities for cultural events, and these are things that sort of make your life more meaningful and more enjoyable. And the fact that now that isn't the case, and it's becoming harder, it's sort of shifting how kids think, So not being able to buy a house, not being able to progress, not being able to know where you're going, I can understand for kids, it's a crisis. And you kind of sometimes just say, fuck it, I'm not even going to worry. Let me call my boy that has the Cocorino Romano and we can make it happen.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay?
I really need to go pee.
Oh, okay. No, I'm happy it was just that. I was kind of worried there was some actual shit going on.
No, I was really peeing myself, so I really...
When the pipilino needs to be relieved.
Tingle with.
Yeah, you have to. Now, did you shake it too much? Because then it could become...
If you shake it too much, it might be too fun.
Yeah, too fun.
No, I did just enough. I didn't want to feel the fun just yet.
I feel like when you shake it, you have to do it in a way where the water goes down, but it doesn't go back to you. Have you ever shaken it and a little thing goes in your face?
Maybe I have. I think so. You do it too hard that it just sprinkles in your face. Yeah, I think that has been a possibility.
When that happens, I just grab a little and I just to make sure the pH is where it has to. Yeah,
right.
Might as well if you already got there.
The new one, or what I'm doing now, is at home. I'm peeing sitting down. Does that make me less of a male?
I mean, is it more efficient? Is it less of a mess? Yes, but that is one of the first steps into becoming a classic bitch. Basic.
I'm
bitch.
sitting down, and I'm not ashamed.
No, but you know what? It does give you some credit and manliness to accept it, say it, and not be ashamed about it. That actually kind of makes you more gangster. Like, hey, I sit down, and what's up? What's the problem?
When I sit down, I can shake it and then not be worried that it's going to hit my face.
Oh, that's true.
What else? But I'll do it at home. Now, in a public place, I'm standing up. And if it's like 3 or 4 in the morning, I'm not sitting down in that cold shit. It's going to be too cold to be sitting down.
So you kind of have a hybrid situation.
Yeah. But at 2 or at 3 in the morning when you pee, you're trying with like barely want to open any eyes so you don't wake up.
Yeah.
Go pee.
That's when you're more prone to like scatter.
Wetting the toilet for your lady who might, come after you and pee after you.
Yeah. No, but what I do is tips for the people that are, living with somebody else. If you live with another man and you're a man yourself, then you're kind of good. Although not really, because you can still be nasty. But what I like to do is I put the seat up and I pee in the bigger bowl. I'm talking about these things like they're revolutionary. I think this is just a default, right? And then I put back the seat down.
What happens if you don't take the seat up
or down? You mean?
No, if you pee and the seat is still down.
Well, like you said, like if I'm like sleepy and shit, I'm not trusting too much. There are times when I go in and I'm lazy and I'm like, look, I'm gonna point this thing very well and I'll be able to pee without touching the seat. The problem is my pinilino has, every pinilino is different, but mine is a little different than different. And it has a certain thing. I won't go into it because that is part of my personal thing. It works. It stands up and everything. But it does have a configuration that's a little bit different where the hole It's not right at the top, but a little bit more to the side. Right? Wow, bro. This podcast is getting wild, man. If this shit doesn't succeed and I'm sharing all these fucking things. So my pinino, the whole, imagine instead of it going up, it goes a little bit more front. So my hole of the barrel is not up, but it's a little bit more towards the front. So when I'm peeing down, instead of the thing going forward, it kind of goes backwards towards me.
So you gotta pick it up a little bit.
So I have to pick it up a little, and I have to just apply a whole different set of skills. So because of that, it's a lot harder for me to aim well. And if I don't notice that part of my skin, because I'm not circumcised, because I'm not Jewish, if part of my skin by mistake was, on top and covering part of the penis, now that thing can just go anywhere like a sprinkler.
So you need to have the hood on.
I don't need to, but sometimes it is, and I don't remember. Remember, when you come from a hood mentality, you don't always know if the hood is off. So I might be trying to pee, but in reality, part of the skin was retracted, and that's making the hole have an even more down angle, and then that piece is going backwards towards me. So it's like a self-attack. Yeah. Anyways, guys, don't ask for pictures of my panini. That's disrespectful.
I was gonna ask the editor
to put a picture.
To put a picture of your.
It's. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's kind of weird, but once you see it after 3 seconds, you're like, oh, it's kind of cute. So don't feel bad for me. I mean, I don't have a deformed pinino. It's just a little different. And the ladies listening, don't act like, oh, what do you mean? I've seen many punanis, not as many as I would have wanted to, and they're all fucking different and weird. So
not as many as you would have wanted.
I would have wanted to. Why are you making me repeat things? Okay? Shit. I'm trying to be vulnerable and like confess things inside of me, and you make it worse. That's fucked. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. I'll leave you all with that fun fact. Chef Maurice, directly from San Francisco, the land of the vulnerable and the home alternative. I'm coming from Madrid, one of the best places in Europe. Come visit. Let me know when you're here. Not really. I love you. Take care. Keep it real. Keep it Gucci. Keep it gangster.